It's your boy Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D. I got Neko Yasha09 and Mermaid Moonchild with me, and you are tuned into another Blur View session. And today, tonight, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, lunchtime, your smoke break, whenever you listening to this, we are talking about WandaVision episode 6. We knee deep in the thick of things, in the thick of it, thick. So. And we got, 3 episodes left, and it's actually rumored that the next 3 are going to be an hour long.
They gotta be. They gotta wrap up everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, is WandaVision just a one shot? Is like, or because I'm not getting one shot vibes.
As far as they marketed, it was a one-time, one-season thing, unless they tell us otherwise.
I'm not getting one season vibes, man. Like at this point, I'm concerned because have they even started filming Doctor Strange? They started filming Spider-Man 3.
Yes, no, they did start filming Doctor Strange because Elizabeth Olsen's currently stuck in the UK because of filming and can't come back to the US because of Corona. So,
yay, Corona. No, they probably intended it for it to just be one season. But, you know, Disney is about coins. So what's really going to happen is based on how this season plays out.
Mm-hmm. And how it goes with Doctor Strange, we might get another season.
All right. So we are here. The same reason why you are here, audience. Easter eggs. Let's talk about it.
Can we please talk about how the whole episode was peak Malcolm in the Middle vibes?
Oh my God.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Super Malcolm
all day long.
Like this, Super Malcolm in the Middle. I dubbed this episode just Easter egg central. This whole episode was just Easter eggs and it was great.
Yeah. So quick recap of the episode. It's a Halloween episode. And everybody, it's the boys' first Halloween. So apparently they grew up to be like 12, 13 and like another over the course of another episode.
No, they're still the same age.
They're about the same age they were in the last episode.
They're still 10 or whatever.
10.
They seem a little older. But so it's the boys' first Halloween. And after Pedro, Quicksilver from X-Men. Pietro, Quicksilver from X-Men.
You gotta put that accent on it.
Pietro, yeah. After Pietro, aka Quicksilver from aka X-Men from another universe shows up as Uncle Pietro. And they're going on a Halloween, family Halloween venture. And Vision claims that he has neighborhood watch guard, and that's why he can't join the family. So Wanda and Pietro take the boys out to trick or treat. During the course of this, it's found out that Monica has been through the barrier twice and it's changed her body on a molecular level twice.
Who called it? Who called it?
You called it.
I called it. Thank you.
You called it, which alludes to her getting her superpowers because she is a superhero in the comic. And what ends up happening is Monica and what's his name? What's the guy in charge?
Hayward.
Hayward releases Monica, Wu, and Darcy because he's quote unquote tired of their shit. But it seems like he's got some secret agenda going on because he keeps trying to kill Wanda instead of help Wanda and the people inside the barrier. So Wu, Darcy, and Monica end up getting kicked off the base, sneak back on, find out about Monica's DNA change, find out that they've been keeping tabs on Vision and everybody in the barrier the whole time and not telling anyone. Hayward has. Inside the barrier, Wanda and Pietro have a conversation about where he's really from because she doesn't quite recognize him, why he looks different, why his accent's different. He's aware that she has changed reality. Vision, on the other hand, instead of being neighborhood watch, he actually is going to inspect the neighborhood because he knows that there's something going on and he sees that outside of a certain vicinity, there are people trapped in stop motion because they're outside of Wanda's field of magical control, to include Agnes, which might actually debunk the fact that she might be Agatha from the X-Men comics. So
I don't know. She was still dressed as a witch. They still want us to believe it.
You think so? You think she just happened to be also mind controlled? Like it's a...
I think so. I mean, look what happened to Monica.
Agatha is a very like whoever her character is, she's like way too powerful to just be some lady on the street.
Or important, because she's
She
definitely
has too much significance. Let me say.
yeah. And so Vision finds Agnes and like frees her mind. She tells him that he's an Avenger and that he's dead, and that there's no way out because Wanda won't let them out. And Vision's like, "What the fuck is an Avenger?" Because he doesn't remember. He puts her back into the mind control trance, sends her on her way, and he walks to the barrier, and as he's trying to leave the barrier, he starts to decay. And Hayward and Darcy are out there watching Vision try and come back through the portal, and Vision's son, who is Wiccan in the comics, hears him suffering and sends her mom and tells the mom, Wanda ends up making the barrier bigger and entrapping the sword agents and turning their entire operation into a circus. That was funny.
Because they're clowns.
Especially because Monica called them clowns.
Yeah.
That's the funny part.
And Monica and Wu get away, but Darcy and the rest of Sword end up getting trapped
sucked in.
Yeah, in the WandaVision, because Darcy stayed behind when Monica and Wu went to go meet up with their contacts.
She didn't stay behind.
I was about to say Darcy was
that girl got handcuffed.
But if she stayed behind, but then she ended up running out there to see Vision, and she ended up getting handcuffed to the car. So now all of the sword agents are under Wanda's control. Vision is back in the WandaVision, and Monica and Wu got away. So that was the episode. So Easter eggs. Let's knock them out. So the
first off, the costumes.
Yes.
The costumes. If y'all don't know nothing about comics and didn't understand why these outfits were significant, please do some research.
Yes.
Please do some. I'm not even going to tell you to get out. I'm just going to do some research.
I'm
not going to gatekeep.
Everybody in the family was wearing their OG comic outfits. Wanda was wearing her Scarlet Witch OG, Vision, Quicksilver, Wiccan, and Speed. They were all wearing their OG comic outfits as Halloween costumes. Not only that, but the irony is, Pietro, he had his OG Quicksilver outfit on. The outfit he was wearing when Barry Allen beat him in a race in Marvel Comics. Anyway, also too, another significant, another Easter egg, but not really, is all the kids came out of nowhere.
Yep. Remember everybody?
Where did all those kids come from?
Everybody's like, where's the
Pietro kind of alludes to it when he's like, you must have, there's been a real ethical operation you've been running. You must have just kept them asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids just been in the beds for this whole series.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then let's see, what else do we got? The twins got their powers during the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
So Wiccan has his telepathy and his telekinesis and all that, and Speed has his speed. So
the way they did Pietro's speed was not the same as they did in the X-Men, but the same as MCU.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Because in the X-Men, his powers, he kind of like slowed down. Like, everything seemed to be slower around him, or it seemed to stop.
Yeah.
And that's how he was doing his super speed. But in the MCU, it was Pietro like as like a swoosh kind of thing, like him just like seeing him as a blur, and they did Speed's powers the exact same way. So I thought that was interesting as well. I do like that they changed the animation. I do and don't, because on the one hand, I do like it because it's like, oh, you retconned it for this universe. On the other hand, it's like, oh, we're getting further and further away from the X-Men. Like, boo. So
it's okay. It was iconic for the X-Men series. All that one scene. It's okay.
Another Easter egg was Herb showed back up as Frankenstein. That the irony in that is unreal. Like, because he's being mind controlled, because his current identity is a creation of Wanda's imagination. I thought it was funny that he was Frankenstein. Not only that, but before Quicksilver and the twins started wreaking havoc on the neighborhood with their powers, Herb called out everything they were going to do. And then when Wanda got frustrated about it, he was like, do you want to reset? Do you want to start this over? And she was like, no, it's fine. And then they walk away.
Yeah, so that's like
more people are
a
becoming
couple
self-aware.
reviews ago, calling out that Herb and Agnes seem to be a little bit more aware than everyone else around them. There's a theory we talked about yesterday, like why do the dead people seem to be more aware of what's happening to them? And when Vision and Agnes had that conversation when she was kind of stuck at the edge of the perimeter, she was like, am I dead? And the piece of me is now like concerned. Are Agnes and Herb potentially dead? Is that why they are one of the only two people, or some of the only two people that can actually know that they are being controlled and affected and impacted?
That's a valid point.
Yeah,
that is a valid point.
Because when Vision asked her, like, why would you be dead? She was like, because you are. And she just kept repeating dead, 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 all like she got stuck in a loop. And when she finally calmed down, he was like, I don't think you're dead. Like, I didn't know I was dead, but I don't think
I don't think he thinks he's dead.
Yeah. So but that's the thing. Vision, even outside of the barrier, was acting of his own volition, which means that there's something somewhere is reanimating him.
But if you think about it, he wasn't like, they were already trying to bring him back at Sword.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not like she brought back an absolutely lifeless body.
Yeah.
She brought back something that was already under construction and semi-alive. So a piece of him probably still does have his own ability to control himself because he's AI. So.
Yeah. There's also a bit in here, Screen Rant called it, but she called Quicksilver refers to the twins as demon spawn, which is ironically going back to House of M. So
if Mephisto doesn't show up soon, I'm sick of it.
Listen,
facts. Oh yeah.
Listen, there were so many hell references. Like it was like demon spawn. The kids need a father figure. Westview's charming as hell. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
This has to be Mephisto, please.
If not, they're playing with us on a whole nother level.
Because Mephisto is canon. He's supposed to be in Loki. I need this. WandaVision has to be where he first shows up because this makes sense. It would make sense.
None of the clocks have 6 on them still, so it's like
exactly.
It's there. It's definitely there.
So you guys want to talk about the old school YoPlay yogurt commercial that they threw in here? Like, I talk about throwback.
Wild.
But it was like the shark the kid's sitting on an island, he's hungry. The shark shows up and the shark is like, I got some yogurt for you, and it's called Yo Magic. And the kid can't, for some reason, the kid is so starved and deprived that he can't just peel back the yogurt and save himself. And the irony of that is, it's like, going back to Wanda, right? Wanda, for all her powers and all her volition, she can't use her magic to right every wrong. And the kid on the island ends up dying from not being able to open the yogurt. And Wanda's magic, her magic, Yo Magic, is not going to be able to help her bring those back that she lost. Which is ironic because they're there. So whose magic, if not her magic, is the magic that's bringing everyone back?
Exactly. And it's the Soul Stone. There's a Soul Stone reference because he was dead and he was the only one on that island. He was sole survivor.
Yeah. So
who called it?
Yep. I thought that was an interesting play too. I really did. And I like how they did it.
When he had that skull, I was like, oh, it's Red Skull.
Yeah, the one who guards the Soul Stone. Right. Wanda was talking to Pedro about
Pietro.
his.
You want that man to be?
I want him to be Pedro so bad. I wanted to be Pedro so bad. She was talking to Pietro about his accent and where he comes from, and he's like, "All I know is I was shot."
Where's yours?
Yeah, he's like, "Where's yours?" He's like, "I was shot dead in the street, and then you called out to me, and I showed."
It was the check for me. He's like, "First of all, ma'am,
yeah,
where's your accent? How come you don't have an accent? Where's yours?" I was like, "Oh." snatched.
Right. And so it's like, but he never died in the X-Men, right?
No,
No, he never
never got
died in X-Men.
He's alive.
That's how he was able to get snatched.
But it's like, but he says it himself. He was like, I was shot dead in the street, and then all of a sudden, poof, I'm here. Like you called out to me, and I'm here. So it's like, did he die in X-Men? Like, you know what I mean? Like it makes you wonder, like, did he die in X-Men? Like,
Or did she give
but
his
he was
memories?
telling Pietro from her
perspective.
timeline story.
So maybe she just swapped bodies and implanted his memories in his body.
Maybe there's that, but there was that one. Okay, so you remember in the beginning in the cutscene where he was referring to trick or treating back in the old
Sokovia.
Yeah, Sokovia, the old country, and it was like this weird, very 90s, like where they were like trick or treating and the lady gives them fish, very like old country ish, right? And I put quotes around that. And so she's like, that's not exactly how I remember it. You know what I mean? Like he's giving memories that she doesn't recall. But the thing is, remember in X-Men, he grew up in America.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have had those memories either. So it's like that weird that weird 90s sitcom comic play. I was a little confused because I was like, well, if she don't remember that memory and you didn't grow up in America, yeah, you shouldn't either. It's like where are these, you know, and I guess maybe it was a space filler for the show, quote unquote. So maybe, I don't know. I just found
but you
got
to think about it. That's one that's a very 90s TV show thing to do a cut scene to a memory. That's super 90s.
Super 90s.
And then on top of that, if you think about other comic series where they are doing like these timeline shifts, there's always this layer of memory transposition that happens, like removal of whatever happened in your other timeline and additions of things that are canon to this new timeline you're in. That always happens. So it's probably, you know, he didn't remember it exactly because it didn't happen to him, but he has some inkling of a memory to pull from to try and make himself seem as Pietro of this world as he can.
Or in like how certain cases is like three people at an event, they could all be there witnessing at the same time, but all three stories can be different. Like
perspectives,
Like example from Legend of Korra, in book 2, when Kaya, Tenzin, and Bumi went on that vacation, Tenzin's like, "Oh man, growing up was great. We had a lot of fun," and Kaya and Bumi were like, "Yeah, no, that's not how we remember it. Dad you went on those, we didn't." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah,
true story. It's perspective. Speaking of perspective, let's talk about three low-key, not Loki the god, but low-key Easter eggs,
like low-key,
like on the low Easter eggs that Marvel decided to slide in here. So the first one was the Incredibles, and
one of my favorite ones. Can I?
Oh,
yep,
that's my favorite. That was my favorite little Easter egg they put in there, because I was like, oh my god, that's what's happening. This little superhero family. We got the twins on every level. People out here with fake accents. It was great. First of all, those are two of my favorite movies. So,
and not only that, but the Parent Trap was about siblings who switch accents.
Yep.
So so you know, having that whole like, where's your accent? Where's yours? Twins. Yes. So it was. I thought that was cool, and I realized I was like, did Incredibles come out in the 90s? Yeah. I forgot that Incredibles came out that long ago.
You forgot how long it took us to get Incredibles 2?
I did.
We were children, and then we were adults.
I did. Yeah, I forgot. I super forgot. Is that wait was ridiculous, just for it to be the same.
Worth it.
Just for it to be the same movie. But
it was worth it. The Incredibles 2 was great. I will fight you on that.
It wasn't
top tier.
It was top tier, but it was top tier, but it could have been.
I thought it was worth the wait.
And then the mention of Shangri-La, I lost my shit because Pietro got it right. Pietro mentioned Shangri-La, and the Vision in Marvel Comics, the Vision had founded Shangri-La, and Shangri-La is supposed to be he was supposed to be the immortal guardian of Shangri-La, and Shangri-La held the secret to eternal life, and Vision was supposed to be the one protecting it. So I kind of like how they mention that in WandaVision. Vision will never get to see that arc in Marvel. obviously. Boy, in the
Unless they
MCU,
rebuild them.
yeah, unless they rebuild them. But I do kind of like how it was a throwaway reference. Also, one of the Halloween decorations outside of somebody's yard was a Spider-Man mask.
Spooderman.
It was a Spider-Man mask,
Holy.
which is lit. I know Sony was like, that's our shit. So
Y'all can have one reference to Spider-Man. Make it count.
Yeah, make it count. And the irony about WandaVision and House of M and Spider-Man is that Peter Parker made a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May at the expense of his marriage to Mary Jane, and in one of the Spider-Man storylines. And
It was
so
worth it. It's just Mary Jane.
But it pulls from another Mephisto story, which makes it more and more apparent. I feel like that Mephisto is a thing. Like, come on, man.
We have so many nods to Mephisto. When is this boy gonna show up?
In every WandaVision review, if we could just start to count like the times that Mephisto is dropped.
Yes.
Everybody is waiting.
Take a sip every time you spot a Mephisto reference. There we go.
That's the drinking game. That's a drinking game we need.
That's the drinking game. That's a drinking game. And then when she was talking to Pietro, in the shot right after Spider-Man and the Parent Trap, she was talking to Pietro and he was telling her, like, I'm actually impressed that you were able to pull all this off and control all these people, and it must be difficult. And you have a real ethical situation here. You took all these people away from their homes, but they have better jobs and a better life, even though you're suppressing them. And she's like, you're not mad at me? He's like, no, I'm impressed. This is a lot. He's like, you went from zapping lights, like
giving nightmares and
zappy things out your hands, to being able to do all this. And she said that she was just lonely, and all of a sudden all this shit disappeared.
Yep.
So she
even more hints that it's not her your magic that's doing all of this. Mm-hmm. That commercial, I think, was very timely for this episode and for a lot of those conversations, because it's almost as if someone made her feel like it's her magic that's fueling this environment. A shark came through.
Yeah.
Like, your magic can do all of this, but in reality, her magic is not really what's fueling the underlying Westview world, because her magic can't even sustain the population.
No, because
like one of the saddest scenes was watching that lady like sit there stuck in that loop, like not even doing
and
anything,
she's crying,
with the tear rolling down her eye.
Because she can't stop. She can't stop the loop, but she can't do anything else but the loop because she's outside of the magic vicinity. Yeah. And when she's finished talking to Quicksilver, he has the bullet holes in his body from Ultron.
Yep.
Fun fact for those who don't know, Quicksilver actually was not supposed to die in that scene in Age of Ultron. Yeah, you didn't know that? He was not supposed to die. So what happens is he does get shot, but him and Hawkeye make it to the helicarrier and he lives in one version of Age of Ultron, but they recut it to make him die. So he was never supposed to die in Age of Ultron, technically.
Shouldn't have died, period. How can a speedster die from a bullet?
That's exactly. But
questions that need answers.
Barry Allen would never. Anyway, so
Barry Allen
Peter,
that's another.
Peter from the X-Men movies would never.
No, I was like, but he Quicksilver, he was not supposed to die in Age of Ultron. They had actually kept him, and he was supposed to make it all the way to Endgame. But they, at the last minute, Kevin Feige was like, "Nah, kill him."
Is that not an Easter egg within the whole like creation of this universe? Like they keep giving us alternate timelines for Wanda's story. Yeah. Like there's an alternate ending that we finally saw in WandaVision for, when she goes and breaks into Sword. There's the alternate version of what happens to Pietro. Like they've been, this is not by chance that we know there was an alternate ending to how Pietro's story was supposed to go.
And her breaking into Sword to steal Vision was supposed to be an Endgame end credit scene. They just took it out. Another fun fact. There's so many weird, like random delete scene drops. like how Black Widow technically wasn't supposed to just throw herself off the cliff. Thanos actually kills her, and she she jumps off the cliff because she's within an inch of her life because Thanos shoots her,
Yep.
which would have made that scene so much better. But there's so many, like Kevin Feige redid a lot of shit, a lot of scenes, and the MCU would have been a very different place, but it makes sense, I guess, now. But and right after the scene where she's talking to him and she realizes the boy Wiccan is like, oh, dad's in trouble. Piedro's like, it's not like your dead husband can die twice.
Yo,
That
when
shit
he
was
said
And she
that,
and she yeeted him
she
thereafter.
yeeted the
I
shit out of him.
screamed. I screamed when
She
he
yeeted the
said that,
shit out of
and
him.
she fucking just blasted oh my god! I screamed and had to rewind that because that was just beautiful.
But
I
you
was
know
like,
what? But you know what's crazy about that? He said that out loud, and the
Yeah.
boys didn't even flinch.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna say. It seems like ever since the boys came into existence, the facade is up. And I'm like, is it the facade is up because she finally got what she wanted? Is it the facade is up because Vision's aware? Because even them running around doing speedster stuff the whole episode, that wasn't something that they would have allowed previously.
right.
Yeah.
Especially if Vision wasn't doing his community walk, he'd be like, their superpowers. Why are they showing their superpowers?
Yeah, like they stopped caring about Wanda stopped caring about hiding who they are once the boys aged up. And it's kind of strange because yeah, you're right. A couple episodes ago, she would have freaked out about that because they were trying to hide their powers so bad from the Hearts and Agnes and and Herb. And then once Monica showed up, once the twins showed up, and once Monica got yeeted out of the WandaVision, they stopped hiding their powers.
Mm-hmm.
And she started showing her powers to Agnes too, like just right after that. And she's like, "Oh no, it's okay, it's just Agnes." And it's like, and that's why we all thought she was Agatha, because
yeah, but she was dressed as a witch for
I'm
Halloween.
still waiting. I need to know who she is because whoever she is, I want to be her.
And who her husband is. And who her husband is.
Like, who's this ain't shit husband she is?
Shout out to Agnes for having the naughty on the booty sweatpants. So nice.
That was peak late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic.
Late 90s.
Like
peak late 90s.
Velour and rhinestones. Yes, sign me up.
We all had that. If you are a person that identified as female back then, we all had some type of velour sweatpants with something on the butt. So it could have said cutie.
Dan, you had the embroidery on the booty sweatpants?
I did. I had the cutie one.
That's wild.
I'm
from Atlanta. You didn't have to identify as female.
That was Atlanta's a wild wasteland. Shout out to that. Shout out to that.
Listen, the North and the South are two very different places. So.
Listen. But no, yeah.
Wait, so you said something, Johnny, about, like they used to be hiding all their, when you said hiding, it made me think about where has what's her name? Dorothy? Where is she at?
Yeah. Dottie, yeah. We haven't seen her for like 2-3 episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was so significant for one episode.
Like that, but I think she was the cliche 1960s, 1970s like rival, like on-screen rival. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, but it's weird that like she disappeared, but Herb disappeared.
And
for
the
some
children showed up. Like she was doing all this for the children. Where
the children.
I think she might. Like, I honestly think she's probably the witness protection person, because she was so important that we had to get in good with her. We got to make sure she's fine, and then she whisked off into nothingness.
Yeah.
And her husband is so I don't think y'all talked about it last time, but when they were showing like who the different residents of Westview were, her husband is an agent. Because you remember they said they sent somebody in before and they didn't come back out. If you watch, or if you like stop screen and kind of pay attention to the different people of the community and what's written underneath them, he was an agent. Yeah. So she probably, I think she's the witness protection person. at this
Probably.
point, they've been playing mind games the whole
Yeah, and
season. So
and
you
you know,
never know.
and you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot about there being a witness protection person, and that's why the whole case started in the first place.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. Like you know, I forgot. So that's a good shit. I totally forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't
I
think
know.
about that.
Weird side note. Can we also appreciate the fact that the kids were playing DDR in the beginning?
Yes. Yes.
As someone who spent all of middle school and high school addicted to DDR, I'm real happy they put that in there. I was
Yeah.
just
So
like,
wicked. He just his little feet couldn't do it, baby.
Fucking
Couldn't do
nerd.
listen, DDR was not for everyone. Not everyone was coordinated enough for that. So
Listen,
I was coordinated enough, but
the
a lot of my
'90s,
friends, a lot of my friends weren't.
the '90s
They
nostalgia.
stayed on beginner mode. And then there's me just going. They're just like, "How are you doing this?" It's like, I blame marching band.
The '90s
Been
nostalgia
prepping for
was
this my
definitely
whole
there.
life, kids.
I love
No,
it.
that the 90s references were so great in this episode, like, and it's probably because
We all grew up in
not
the
to plug our
90s.
ages, but we're 90s kids. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this was probably one of my favorite episodes that has come out, period. And
Same.
I said that last time, so maybe next time will be my favorite episode too.
Same. I just like all the episodes are great, but I really enjoyed this one just because there was just so much Easter eggs and nostalgia. Because
The
our
nostalgia was real.
generation loves nostalgia.
And so next episode, they're gonna be in the early 2000s. So what shows do you think they're gonna mimic for?
I think it's gonna probably be like mid to late 2000s, just because this one had a lot of late 90s, early 2000s vibes.
So we're gonna have like
I feel like we're gonna get like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody because
yeah, like Sweet Life, Sweet Life
Like-
of Zach and Cody, Hannah Montana.
Hannah.
Yeah, like I'm not expecting like
maybe
girlfriends or anything
or maybe
like that.
that's so Raven.
That's so Raven. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's so Raven.
Ooh.
Something like
Especially
I'm
since
signed up
that
for it. I'm excited
psychic-
now. Now I'm excited
Yeah.
again.
Oh, that would be lit, but that's so like a that's so
Oh my God.
Raven.
That's so Wanda. It's
Yo,
the
I would
magic
lose it. If he does, if he
you
does.
That's so Wanda.
I would lose it if they pulled. They could pull it off property wise. They could pull it off. I would.
Disney,
Lose
They have
I'm
the
putting
right.
this in the future. If y'all do another Wanda spinoff, please do a parody.
I would like.
That's
that would
so
be
Raven
lit.
with Wanda. I'm putting this into the universe.
Because yeah, it would have to be like Corey in the House. That's so Raven. Even Stevens.
Yes.
So that was kind of
Yeah, I know
90s,
I
early
love
2000s.
Shia.
Even Stevens. It would or because the boys are teenagers, it might look something like Boy Meets World.
right.
Like Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh.
Well, that's
yeah.
Nickelodeon, but still.
But still, yeah. Drake and Josh's, Boy Meets World,
iCarly.
Sister.
I'm still on Nickelodeon. I'm in the wrong channel altogether.
Yeah, you get the wrong channel. Sister. Something along Sister.
Oh, Sister would have been that would have
Yeah.
been perfect.
They should have did
They
that.
should have did that. Like,
Either
that
like Sweet Life or Sister. It's gonna be something like that. Maybe not as black as Sister, obviously, but yeah,
know.
something like
We got
that.
Herb and Wanda. We holding on tight. We strong.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what Disney, because they're gonna pull the Disney trope after Parent Trap and The Incredibles. Like I feel that they're gonna pull the Disney trope. So we'll see how it goes. But
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Like Darcy's character is gonna be now that she's in Westview.
I don't think she's gonna have powers. I just think she's gonna.
I think she might be like
No,
some-
what like, but what
I
kind
think
of
she
character
might
will
be
she
like
be?
a techie person. I feel like some type of techie person. I feel like she might be
Because most of them turn into clowns, but I just don't see her getting turned into a clown.
No.
Yeah,
Like, I feel
no.
like Vision would help her out because Vision saw her trying to help.
I feel like she might. Yeah, that's another thing too. Vision might help her because he's probably gonna remember that she tried to help him. But I feel like she'll turn into some stereotypical like techie trope. But I feel like she actually might. Darcy might be aware. I feel like she's going to be aware that she just gets sucked in, but she's like, wait a minute, this is WandaVision, and I'm not like the rest of these guys. I don't think she's going to be a character. I think she's going to be fully aware of what's going on. I think Vision's going to help her, and vice versa. Remember, she can upload. If she gets a computer, it'd be the early 2000s at that point. So early to mid 2000s. So if she gets a computer, she can upload into Vision.
Yep. Because they did say, because remember 3 episodes ago, or it was like either 3 or 2 episodes ago, they sent that email
Yeah. So
because they said what was one thing that was consistent,
it's data.
and there was data, and
Data.
that was and they could send emails, and
So
that's one thing you cannot change.
she can upload Division. So or any mainframe. So we'll see how that ties in to the overall structure of things. Because it might be, I mean, Kevin Feige might just play us all and it'd be like, ah, it was a computer simulation, bitches. Like, you know, it might
And
be.
I believe the last stone we haven't seen was the Mind Stone reference, I believe. So we should get our last little stone reference
One more
next
good
episode.
commercial.
One more commercial.
And we're still waiting for this big Luke Skywalker-esque character to show up.
So okay, so I have like two, maybe 3 people that could possibly show up. So I'm thinking it's either Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, or Hugh Jackman. That's who
It has
I
to
can
be an
think could
X-Men.
show up.
It has to be the X-Men.
I'm personally banking on Hugh Jackman personally because he said during the filming of Logan the only way he would return as Wolverine is if he could somehow be an Avenger or in the MCU movie. And since now they have rights to Fox,
Yeah.
they can bring in Wolverine. And if they're doing House of M, Wolverine played a big role in House of M.
Like
and I feel
like it would be like Wolverine shows up to retrieve Quicksilver because Quicksilver just disappeared. And he was like, well, I just found Quicksilver got sucked into this portal and they opened it and I jumped in. Like I was like, what?
Right.
But that's, I don't know. Like I agree with you. It's either like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, or Hugh Jackman. Like
even take Michael Fassbender and oh my god, what was the other actor that played Professor X in the newer X-Men, whatever his actor.
Avery McAvery. I can't remember his first name.
Him. I could also one of them just because they're going more with that newer timeline of X-Men. So so that's 5 people. So that's 5 people I could see, but as a big Luke Skywalker as the big OGs, obviously.
Yeah. Like I don't otherwise, like I'm expecting Doctor Strange for obvious reasons. So that wouldn't be a big reveal.
That doesn't seem like a reveal. That's just
I feel like people expect that. Same thing if Loki happens to show up too. I feel like that's expected.
So there's one other Easter egg I don't think we talked about, and we kind of
the kick-ass Easter egg.
Well, there's probably 7,000 Easter eggs we have not referenced, but Hayward in this Project Cataract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is like there isn't like a cataract organization in the MCU or anything that we could tie it to. But when you really sit and think about like what a cataract is, it's something that obscures vision. So that I think we've all been kind of like, is Hayward good? Is he bad? What is that?
Yeah.
He's bad.
He's a bad guy.
In my mind,
he's a bad guy. He's definitely
like I've never seen a villain so obsessed.
Has the same symbol that the Project Cataract has on the computer screen. So he's like super bought into whatever this vision obscuring mission is that's stalking Vision and watching him. So I'm excited for us to finally reveal that Hayward is Hydra, because I'm calling it, and that's what it is.
If he's Hydra, that'd be wild. No, the one dude I want to show up is Phil Coulson. I don't care about nobody else. I want Phil Coulson to show up. That's the thing. That's like I expect an X-Man. I expect Doctor Strange. I expect Loki. I want Phil fucking Coulson to show up and be like, so I heard y'all got a problem. Like that's who I want. Is Phil Coulson so they can tie in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Experience. He handles time loops, different timelines. He's an LMD. He can't die. He's got time.
Yeah, he's at this point he's a robot. Yeah, I want Phil Coulson to show up. Like I don't care about none of this shit they telling me. If Phil Coulson don't walk through that door, I'm gonna be feeling some type of way. Because that's the man. That's the unkillable bionic man.
Some other like astrophysicist person, and that could be somebody from
Right. Oh yeah, because Monica and Wu still haven't met up with Monica's person yet.
Her person.
Yeah, and her person might be an agent of Shield. So it's like, listen, give me Agents of Shield. I don't care about none of this shit.
Look, it could be Phil, or it could be Fitz. I could go
Phil, Fitz, Gemma. It could be it. Listen.
If we get Fitz, we get Gemma. Okay,
yeah.
that's just
like if Monica shows up and Fitz opens the door, like, oh, I heard you were. I would lose my fucking mind. It's got to be. It has to be Agents of Shield.
But
like I need them to bring
even
them
the
back.
Hydra connection goes hand in hand with a Fitz. Like, hold on.
If Hayward is indeed Hydra or some kind of like side organization, tie-out organization from Hydra, yeah, because I can see Hydra wanting Vision. Because Hydra doesn't technically die after Civil War or after the Agents of Shield arc. They're still out there. So I can see that.
I'm in a deep rabbit hole with it at this point because like he is basically one of the only person who would know how to navigate in an alternate reality because of the framework. So I've decided that I need
it's got to be Agents of Shield. Like that's I demand it. Like I need that. But hey,
also,
we're out.
One last bit. Backtracking to who could be like the Luke Skywalker appearance. I swear to God, if Deadpool shows up, I'm quitting the series.
Yeah, like that's one of those.
If I see Ryan Reynolds, I'm just gonna be mad.
I'm half expecting Deadpool.
I will be mad,
but I would be mad. Yeah, I'm half expecting him, but so of all the people you could have
like
brought,
that just popped in my head.
Yeah, like I've been thinking that the whole time. Like I swear to God, if it's Deadpool, I'm gonna be pissed.
I swear to God.
Because of course it would be Deadpool. Like obviously, like you know what I mean. Like that's so no shit, no brainer that I'd be mad. Like it like again, I needed to be like Fitz, Gemma, Coulson. You know what I'm saying? The cavalry. You know what I mean? Like give me an Agent of Shield. That's what I want. But we'll see. But all right, we got to wrap this up. You guys comment below in the comments who you guys want to see as the big reveal character down below. If you guys want to check out the previous episodes, you can check them out with the links in the description or right here on the screen, on either side of the screen. But for now, we are out of here, and we will see you guys next week with more. Actually, no, we won't be here next week. It'll be the week after. We're going to do a double episode. We're going to double it up.
We're taking a mini vacation.
Yes, we're going to double it up, but we will be back in full force. 2 episodes deep. It's your boy Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D, Neko Yasha 09, and Mermaid Moonchild, and you have tuned into the Blurred View. Peace. We are out of here.